Hey, I'm Mark,
And I'm Craig.
and this is Songwriter's Tales. Craig, who do we have coming on today?
Man, we have got somebody that you are not going to want to miss. I have a publisher in Los Angeles that has been working with my catalog for a couple of years now. And this guy is a who's who, not just in LA, but also in Nashville. He is a songwriter turned publisher. And he's written songs with Garth Brooks. He's done work with Kenny Rogers. Oh, gosh, Tammy Wynette, Don Williams, Joe Diffie, the Oak Ridge Boys. This guy knows everybody and anybody in Nashville. Going to be a great show, Mark.
And what's his name?
His name is Rex Benson.
Cool. Let's do it.
So I don't know how other people find you or how you found them, but I do know how I found you, and it goes completely bass-ackwards, as we say down here in the South, to the way everything is supposed to work. There was a time in Nashville where you could literally walk up and down Music Row and just knock on a publisher's door and say, hey, I just in from Atlanta. I've got a couple of tunes. Oh, come on in and play them. Or, and it was It was open. It was a friendly. And this is back in the 90s when it was still old school type stuff. Now, that's changed over the years, and what we would hear as songwriters is unless it's solicited, we're not going to take it. If it's an unsolicited tune, we don't want it. And my understanding was there were some legal ramifications. I don't know, that if there's not a paper trail and some song gets picked up or borrowed or whatever, there could be some issues there on copyright. That's one of the things that went around. But so that was it. It was like closed doors constantly. I was on the phone. I have a song called I Play Guitar in a Mexican Restaurant that I wrote. It's a true story from me playing in the nachos circuit, as we call it. And this was years ago that I wrote it. And I figured, well, at least I'll get a song out of it. And I did. And I thought, that'd be a great Jimmy Buffett song. It sounds like a Jimmy Buffett song or Zach Brown or, Kenny Chesney, that whole vibe, that whole Beats vibe. So nobody would take it. I couldn't get anybody to listen to it, to receive it. And I found you on the internet somehow, and I think I might have sent you an email or something. And I said, hey, would you be willing to listen to the song? Of course, send it to me. I mean, it was like that. And I'm going, well, dang. Okay. And I did. And of course, you liked the song and you said, I love this song and I'm going to sign it. And I think at the time, Jimmy was still alive and Mac McAnally is a good friend of yours. So, and if I recall at the time, they were about to do a record, but they were doing their own material at the time. They weren't taking any outside material, if I remember the story correctly. So, which is fine. That's legitimate. But you still have that song. After a reversion and a few years passed, you called me up again and said, hey, what's going on with that tune? But that's how the relationship started, is that you were willing to say, yeah, send it to me. And I went, gosh, everybody else has been saying.
I really can't imagine any publisher or any song person worth a lick who won't look under any rock they can find.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine it. And the great part about that song, I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I can remember walking into a Nashville publishing house. I can't remember. It might have been Combine. Not one of the giant ones, but a really well-established one. I walked into the tape vault one day, and I look around. There was like 500 2-inch tape boxes stacked up on shelves. And about 30 of them said Christofferson, and 20 of them said somebody else, Towns Van Zandt, whatever they said. And I'm thinking, my God, there's got to be... Just this publishing company must have 25,000 songs in here. And then I started doing the math and thinking there must be over 1 million songs just sitting in tape vaults on Music Row alone. And that doesn't count Memphis and Detroit and New York and Miami and Los Angeles and London and all the other song cities in the world. There must be tens of millions of songs that are just sitting They're
Yeah.
owned by some publishing house or whatever, but they're not getting worked for the most part. Most of them will never be recorded. They're just sitting. And to me, the thing that I say sometimes, and I don't mean to be, callous about this, but songs that are too much in the middle, too much MOR, too much AC oriented songs. To me, those songs go to that vast chasm where songs go to die, because there's millions of them.
Yeah.
When I saw a title like I Play Guitar in a Mexican Restaurant, I thought, I've never seen that title before. That's what attracted me, was the title. I don't know if you guys consider what the literal meaning of the term hook is. In Nashville, we refer to the hook, the title is the hook. It's a fishing term. It's what we put out there to try to entice someone to bite. And that's the title, What is it they say that makes for the value of a property in real estate? There's three things. Do you guys know what the three things are?
Location, and location.
Okay, we do know.
Same thing. Same thing with a song. It's
That's
setting, its title, its concept, its idea greatly determines its value. So I see a song with a title, I Play Guitar in a Mexican Restaurant. Regardless of the vibe, I love the song too, but it was the concept of the song. And Craig can attest to this. That song helped write itself. You go read about, look at the lyric in that song. It's all about a Mexican restaurant. It's about tacos and nachos and buenos and fajitas or whatever it is. It's
free chips.
That's the value of a great visual title. It will help write itself. So here's what I want to say to all the writers, if there are writers watching this.
Yeah.
Start with great ideas. Keep yourself a book of titles. Write down everything you've seen on a billboard or on a bumper sticker or heard in an old movie or somebody said to you just in a conversation and it jumped out. Write it down. And the more visual you can be, the easier it's going to be to write that song, and potentially the more unique that song is going to be. I mean, the whole idea behind switching Little Things to Buy Me a Rose is we can picture a rose. We cannot picture a little thing. Mark, if you think of a little thing,
good point.
Craig, you think of a little thing, and I think of a little thing.
They're all
three
different.
of our images are different.
Right.
But with a rose, we're all thinking the same thing.
Yep.
It's so funny. The first song, one of the first songs that I got signed in Nashville, it goes right along with what you're saying. I had a song called One More Rusty Bucket Down My Well, and the guy loved it and signed it, and it was a line from a Beverly Hillbillies episode.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes
so
you'll be talking to somebody and they'll say something. I mean, this has happened to me twice in the last year or so, where I was talking with a friend and they said something. They didn't know they had said something. And I thought, I'm going to, that's a
jot that one down.
Now, I don't write those anymore, but sometimes I'll call one of my writers and say, hey, what do you think of this? So, and I have a really good stable of writers. Craig is really interesting to me because he's got a soulfulness to him. And I think that kind of sets him apart. He writes different, not only those songs, but he writes other things too. Mexican Restaurant is very Buffety, and we have other songs. He's got this great song called Slowing Down. That's an incredible song that could be done by any number of artists. But I have other writers. I have a writer in Texas that the George Strait Camp brought to me. I've got a Tin Pan Alley pair that can write they could have worked in the Brill Building. They could write anything except rap. I've got an incredible songwriter, a guy named Joe Hash, this guy writes Grammy songs. He writes big songs, anthems. I mean, I've got a lot of different kind of people who do a lot of different kinds of things. There's this cat in Nashville, this cat named Dale Allen Pummer. He's been around there forever, and for some reason he can't get arrested. And I'm like, this guy is so good as a traditional Stone Country writer, and he can also write like jazz standard stuff. I've got the great Larry Shaw, who was buddies with Harlan Howard and writes that Stone Country stuff. So I approach my catalog the same way the general manager of a baseball team would. I look for different strengths at different positions. I got to have a first baseman with power, shortstop with range, center fielder with speed. You know, I got to have a good closer. You got to have something at every position. And that's how I try to build my catalog. I try to find writers who do different things, and I have to try to find different kinds of songs so that if somebody says, do you have something? I can at least have something that hopefully is competitive in the ballpark. We don't rap because I don't know anything about rap. But other than that, we try to have something in as many different song formats and styles. And it's, I mean, rock, blues, gospel, country, name it. Christmas, whatever it is, we try to have songs that fit that need.
Cool.
Well, you know, Rex, we're I think we're about to get to the point where we can wrap this up. Unless you've got something else you'd like to say, Mark. Do you have any other any?
You know, first I just want to thank you for coming on because, and I hope you'll come on again because
Absolutely.
I love the stories, and it's inspiring to listen to you talk like that, because when you're sitting in your own little bubble writing your stuff and you're thinking, God, why am I keep doing this? I'm banging my head against a wall. But it's so great to hear someone who, man, has just known the idols, the cream of the crop in Nashville, but still talks and still, like Craig said earlier, I still hear the excitement in your voice when you talk about songs. And if you listen to 74,000 songs in 4 years and you still are willing to listen to anybody's song, that's amazing to me.
Well, one of you said a little while ago that, you know, that this is what I do. This is what I am. I feel like I'm on this planet for a reason, and it has to do with songs. I'm just a song man is what I am. But there are people like me, like Harold is one. Harold Shedd is now 94 years old. Wow. And he's got a podcast, and he's asked me to come on it, and I think I'm going to do it maybe in a couple of months when I'm in Nashville again. And I've watched every episode of his podcast, and this guy's an absolute song nut, and he's 94 years old. Now, he says he doesn't make records anymore, and I keep saying, yeah, that's what you say now. But the way he acts, he's like an older version of me. I look up to him. I look up to the Alan Reynolds and the Garth Funduses and the Jim Ed Normans and the Tim Dubois, the generation before me. I really look up to Garth Fundus is like a big brother. I look up to these people, you know. So I try to share whatever I can with people. Sometimes it's access. No, I don't know everybody. I do know a lot of people. I've been really blessed to have access that I probably don't deserve, but I have it, and I try to use it as wisely as I can on behalf of all of my writers and our whole catalog. Because if I place a song tomorrow with any of our writers, it potentially helps all of our writers. That's how this thing works, you know.
The rising tide rises all boats, right?
That's exactly right, brother. Yeah. And listen, I'm really proud of you guys for putting this thing together and taking this shot and making this available to what will become probably a fairly substantial audience as you build it. Because people are going to want to hear things from industry people. It's the same reason people flew to those conventions. They want access. Right. They want knowledge. They want conduits. Everybody's looking for a conduit, you know. So
Well, you are a knowledge machine, sir. So I thank you for taking the time to come on, and I'll let Craig wrap this up with you. But it was a pleasure, Rex, and I truly hope you will come on again.
I will, and thank you, Mark, for having me. Thank you, Craig, for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share, and I really admire that you're putting this together.